Kodak Black is in for a world of pain. He's had one of the craziest legal histories we've seen from any rapper in any generation ever, but this recent trafficking case might be the one that puts him away for a long time. But before we get into that, I just want to go over Kodak's legal history because it's crazy. Like I've just reading it off. I actually originally listed everything out that he did, and I'm like, holy shit. I was planning on reading it on camera, but I'm like, god damn, this is gonna take forever. And most of it came from this article here, which outlines everything, you know, stemming from October of 2015, which that's not even the start of it. Kodak was getting arrested from middle school for stealing cars and fighting people and shit like that. His first arrest was, I think it was like 12 years old. It just says middle school, it doesn't say an age. But yeah, we're talking what, 11, 12, 13 years old when things really jumped off. Yeah, man, since then, battery, other charges, weed possessions, battery. This one was a big deal. I remember people were boycotting Kodak like crazy. Like, oh, we can't fuck with him. We can't fuck with this music. Almost got fully canceled because of that. Possession, first of many. He had outstanding warrants on this one. House arrest sentencing, prison sentence. Got out of jail, has to get extradited to South Carolina for the assault case. Got out of jail in South Carolina. Violated house arrest for assaulting the bartender. Angry outburst because he like grabs a like his anger management therapist. He like aggressively grabs her and got violated for that. More gun charges, more drug charges, all that. Then another gun charge. This was the federal gun offense that he got almost 4 years in prison for. It was like 3 years, 10 months, something like that. Then Trump commuted it, setting Kodak free in 2021 in one of the most unexpected moves ever. I personally believe it was because he was trying to get good favor from the black community, but apparently there's other reasons. I don't know, but it happened. It just keeps going and going and going. Arrested for trespassing, that's the least of his concerns. You get the point here. His legal history is nuts. That's where we're coming from. And now getting into the news story, things are looking real bad for Kodak. Orlando, Florida, rapper Kodak Black was arrested on Wednesday for allegedly trafficking in Florida last year, according to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. The 28-year-old artist, whose real name is Bill Capri, was waiting a court hearing Thursday afternoon on his drug trafficking charge for the alleged incident that took place during a November 24th, 2025 police search in Orlando, Florida. So this took place last year, and I guess the warrant was issued for it, and then they just picked him up. What is it, May 13th right now? They just picked him up now. They have the whole story here, but the important part is the affidavit alleged that police located a bag in the trunk containing 56 grams of weed in a sealed marked cannabis bag and a metal container containing a pink pill substance, which is later tested for. An officer also alleged she found a bag containing Capri's ID, which is a prison ID, funny enough, money, and a bottle of, according to the report. But this is the part that's really gonna put Kodak away for a while. The report included an image from Kodak Black's Instagram page, self-snitching again, had a pair of pink scissors in a pink bag, which investigators allege was uncovered during the search and contained the contraband. But apparently there was a bunch of money that was in the bag too, which Kodak tried to claim was his, but that none of the were his. So yeah, that's gonna be a rough one to argue in court. I'm laughing, but it's not fun. You know what? Don't you age out of this shit? Like, we're the same age. I'm 28, he's 28. Well, he's also been doing this since he was like a middle schooler, 11, 12 years old. Don't you just get tired of this shit after a while? Like the handcuffs, the court dates, the jails, the stress. This has gotta be so stressful. This just seems exhausting. I mean, it's been widely reported that Kodak has some pretty serious problems and he's had them for a while. So I know so much of this is just fueled by addiction, and I truly hope he can get some help and support and overcome that in the future. But also just like for the amounts, like how much, let me find out. The exact amount of grams that he had isn't listed, at least not in this quick AI overview. But he did have $37,000 worth of cash that he tried to claim was his while none of the drugs were his. Yeah, that's gonna be a rough one. Anyway, there is a court hearing, his initial hearing, the bail hearing. Details for us to get into for this.
How are you?
Doing well. Next case is State of Florida versus.
Now, most court footage is boring as hell. It's court, it sucks. So we're just gonna skip through this and find the good parts in here.
In this case, Judge, this happened in November. Oh, before I get to that, we also self-surrendered. He was in California. I had him fly back specifically for this case. I was notified by the U.S. Marshal Service and given the opportunity to surrender him.
That's a big deal. They didn't have to go hunt him down and make it a big deal, risk police officers' lives and stuff like that. So that's definitely gonna play into his favor.
One bag has in it and some other items. The other bag has what he initially says, and he doesn't put this in his affidavit, he initially says that he tests it, and it tests 27 grams of cocaine, which is just under the trafficking amount of 28 grams.
They're hitting him with that trafficking charge is like low-key a stretch. As much as he is most likely going to go back to prison for this, I mean, especially given his rap sheet, which is one of the craziest things I ever read. Oh, they're definitely stretching that charge. That could be a personal use. It could just be like, yo, like he just copped an ounce and he's just, you know, that's just what he had. Because like I said before, he's had crazy problems for a long time. Ooh. All right, let's keep watching.
Additionally, again, as Mr. Cohen had said, this was a self-surrender case. This is not somebody who is a flight risk. And the strength of the case, using the word strength very, very loosely, would ask that the court consider a low bond, $10,000.
And he's never failed to appear, as long as I've represented him.
As long as you represent him, there is at least one.
I've represented him since he was like, I don't know, 17. Yeah, there might be one really far back in the past.
Represented him since he was 17 is fucking crazy. I hope people don't just overlook that. He's at the, well, I guess shout out to the consistency and the loyalty of it. But oh wow. This dude has seen him grow up. Wow. That's crazy. That is mad crazy to think about. This lawyer seems like a stand-up dude. Can he talk some like sense into Kodak? Oh man, wow, that's fucking nuts, bro.
They would actually ask that you increase the bond, as the defendant is a professional rapper. As the counsel has indicated, he flew in from California. He is also, when you do a search, listed as a Haitian American. He does not have any ties to Orlando. He's from Pompano Beach, but again, he flew in from California. So state would not only ask that you have the bond at $50,000, in light of his occupation and lack of ties to Orlando, that it actually be increased. And one of the conditions be that—
That's so fucked up. They're just gonna try and tax him and milk him as much as possible just because he has money. That's so fucked up.
If I can just address that very quickly, Judge. He is a proud Haitian American, but he is an American. He has a U.S. passport. He doesn't have any plans on leaving the country. I mean, we've faced cases that are 10 times this case, and I've won, by the way, but we'll put that in another bucket. But the fact that he's a rapper doesn't give you a legal purpose to raise the bond. So I would still ask for a $10,000 bond, Judge.
All right, well, I appreciate all the argument. Again, Mr. Capri, you're charged with trafficking in amphetamine or more than 10 grams, less than 200 grams. That is a first-degree felony. Again, you are entitled to a bond, so I am going to give you a bond. I have considered the strength of the case as well as everything that was set forth in the arrest affidavit. I understand the arguments presented by your counsel. I think one of the things that was left out was, well, you weren't necessarily claiming ownership of the bag. You were requesting that the funds within the bag be turned over to you. So there at least is some tie, seems like, to the court, to that bag.
That's what I'm talking. That's what I mean, bro. I don't know how, yeah. They're not going to let that fly at all.
I think in terms of bond, I am going to slightly increase the bond. I think based upon your, not the fact that you're a rapper, I think that has no binding, but the other factors that the court considered is your prior criminal history, including 12 prior felony convictions.
12 felony convictions at 28 years old. That's fucking crazy, bro. If he wasn't Kodak Black, if he was anyone else in the world, people would just say, oh, there's no hope for him. He has 12 felonies at 28. Throw him in the fucking dumpster. That's crazy, bro. Did he say what the...
Increase the bond, I think, based upon your, not the fact that you're a rapper, I think that has no binding, but the other factors that the court considered is your prior criminal history, including 12 prior felony convictions, 2 misdemeanor convictions, 1 failure to appear. That was quite some time ago, so I'm not giving a ton of weight to the failure to appear. But I think an appropriate bond in this case would be $75,000. So that's going to be what the court sets the bond.
75 racks. I mean, he could pay that shit tomorrow and get out. The average bond for this charge is $50,000. The defense is trying to get 10. They gave him 75, but for someone like Kodak, that doesn't really make a difference.
As conditions of your bond, I am going to order that you not return to the scene of the offense, which is 910 Fairvilla Road, Orlando, Florida, which is the Children's Safety Village. Additionally, I am going to order that you not have any contact with any of the co-defendants in your case, so specifically Mr. Avon Joseph and Mr. James Twitty. Additionally, you are not to possess or consume any drugs or controlled substances without a valid prescription. Additionally, this should go without saying because you are already a felon, but you're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Additionally, I am going to order that you not have contact with any of the other witnesses in the case, so specifically his guard.
Do you think Kodak is listening at all? Like, at all? I don't think he gives a fuck what the judge is saying. That's me personally.
Aside from that, I believe those are all the conditions that I think would be appropriate in this particular case. Obviously, if you all are seeking to...
Look at him. He's like smiling and laughing with his lawyer and shit. Like, this doesn't mean anything to him. I wonder if Kodak thinks he could change. Like, I wonder if he thinks his life could get better. He looks so comfortable to be in this situation when realistically, I mean, let's just look up. He said it's a first-degree felony in Florida. For someone facing a grand total of 30 years in state prison, and $10,000 fine. Yeah, that's nothing to him. But those, yeah, for someone who could possibly not get out until they're 58 years old, he seems very, very calm and laxed and jokey and laughing around. Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know.
I'm also not going to order that you surrender your passport. I don't deem you to be a flight risk. Again, you only have one prior failure to appear dating over 10 years ago. So, Mr. Cohen?
Yeah, sure. Just one thing. One of those individuals is his brother. So I don't know how you don't have contact with your brother.
Which one?
Nasnik. And then the other ones, I think there's some cousins involved in there. One of them is his manager. One of them is his road guy. So
Which one's the co-defendant?
It's not co-defendant. You said no contact with the witnesses.
Right, but before that, I said Avin Joseph and James Twitty.
Yeah, I don't mind about that. That's fine.
Okay.
But there's the other individuals that had nothing to do with this case that were just on the scene. One of them is his brother, Masnick.
Okay.
And then I believe one of them is I think two are security and one, two are his security.
All right, which two?
Which two are they? Cantave and Dion.
All right, so I will permit you to have contact with your team, so your security, and so that's Cantave, Rogers, and San Melis. You can have contact with them, so I'll strike the conditional.
Perfect.
All right,
Thank you, Judge.
so much. Best of luck to you, sir.
Judge.
You as well.
The same lawyer's been representing him since he was 17. That's 11 years of representing. I feel like as the lawyer, I would just get annoyed. Like, bro, what is wrong with you? Like, you can't stop. I mean, this is a big stretch because it was like barely at the trafficking amount, and it just seemed like a high amount of that he had for, you know, for his personal use, or maybe for like him and his friends or something like that. It's not real like trafficking. He's not out here like trafficking. He just had a trafficking amount. So will he get 30 years? Probably not. But I'm also not a lawyer. Let me just preface by saying that this is my non-legal expertise, just from observing a lot of cases and, you know, seeing how things play out. But yeah, it's rough, man. And I really hope Kodak could turn it around, because like, I don't know. I think the whole situation is sad. It's just like super, super sad. He has no reason to be involved in anything street at all whatsoever. He has more than enough financial means to remove himself from the situation and live a much better life for him, his family. I know he has, how many kids does he have? He has 5 kids. Just create a much better situation for him, his, you know, just everyone around him. So I truly, truly hope he can get it together. We'll follow this case and see how it plays out over time. Yeah, man, I want to say hopefully this is the end of it, but I mean, it just seems like clockwork that Kodak's back in jail. Kodak's back in jail. When I originally read the list of the amount of arrests before starting, not including his juvenile days, I counted 14 different arrests, and I put it in ChatGPT too, although it's like over 3 years in jail already. Approximately 39 months, about 3 years and 3 months. In my opinion, I don't even know if prison will fix something like this. I don't really know what will. I really don't know what will. And I don't know if he wants to be fixed. Like, I don't, someone with this type of rap sheet dating back this long, not only is it just like so conditioned in them, like this is just who they are. There's someone who's involved in this lifestyle. They might not even think that they deserve better, or that things can get better, or that there is any other alternative. I don't know, man. We'll see how this plays out. We'll stay tapped in. In the meantime, let me know how you're feeling about the reaction content. This is the second one of these videos that I've done so far. We'll keep it going. Prayers up for Kodak, man. I really hope he could turn his situation around. That's it.